a trip, and he was about an hour away from home. And when he opened his door, the little dog by the name of Poncho jumped out and ran away. Now, this man was unable to catch him, and he went home, but he did all the right things. He called the animal control, and he called the Humane Society, which was where the tag was from that the dog was wearing. But the finder of this pet did all the wrong things. Instead of thinking that this was someone's lost pet, that I think if it's dragging a leash, it's probably someone's lost pet. I don't think somebody would abandon a dog dragging a leash. So this person decided that whoever owned this dog didn't need it back. And I contacted this person, and they told me, oh, they had it all under control. They knew what to do, and they would not take any advice from me because they were getting advice from a rescue. Well, this story is a really, really hard story to tell, and a bad story as far as I'm concerned, because this dog was then within one day microchipped to the rescue. It was given shots, which it had just had a few weeks prior before it went on vacation. So now it's doubled up on shots. It's gotten a microchip to a rescue organization who had no business doing that. And then the owner found out because the woman who was helping him got a hold of me. So we had an owner. I let them know we had an owner. They didn't care. They didn't want to give the dog back. So eventually the sheriffs had to get involved in order to get this poor man's dog back to him. That's how far this had to go, when simply all it required was a phone call to the Humane Society, give them the number on the tag, and they would have said, oh, this is Mr. So-and-so's dog, and he has been looking for it. So in a case like this, I shouldn't even have to ask, what would you do? Because I would certainly hope you wouldn't do what these people did. I would certainly hope that you would do the right thing and get that dog back home where it belongs. And it would have been easy. The dog had tags on it. When you find a pet that has a license tag on it, you can either look that up on Pet Data, which is right online. You can put in the number, and if they're registered through that program, the owner information will come right up. Now, some of them aren't, like Sarasota County here isn't, but Manatee County is on Pet Data. But if it's a Sarasota County tag, all you have to do is call the county, give them the number, and they have the owner information. So it's so easy to get a dog home. You don't have to go through all those steps and pretend like it's an unwanted dog. Obviously, the dog looked terrible because it had been lost in the rain, in the woods for about a week, and it was small and it was skinny and it was a mess, but that doesn't mean it wasn't someone's pet and they weren't frantically looking for it. So I hope in that case you would do the right thing and make the right phone call. So another case I like to talk about, and I talked about this one last year, but it's a very similar case and one that I hope people wouldn't do. And it's about Little Hunter. And Little Hunter was a little Chihuahua mix, I think, probably. He was a little mix of some sort, cute little dog. And he was unforgettable to me because he had a white-shaped heart patch like on the top of his head. So he stood out to me. And one day I saw him. He'd been missing for a long time. He went missing during Hurricane Irma. And he was missing for 96 days when he was finally found. And what happened was, again, a rescue found him, and they took him, and they didn't report him as found. So here he was on a rescue's webpage up for adoption, and he was someone's pet. So thankfully, after being gone for 96 days, Hunter was reunited with his owner and his family. And one of my favorite pictures, my reunion pictures that I love, is the little girls that owned him, holding him with absolute joy on their faces after, they probably thought they would never see Little Hunter again. So these two stories are really important because these dogs had families that loved them and they needed to go home, and it would have been a simple matter of doing the right thing. So I hope if you find a pet that you do the right thing and don't do this. So anyways, Giarrusso is our most recent celebrity case. He's been on ABC News. He was just on the list, ABC The List, the other day, and it was because Giarrusso, a beautiful Russian blue cat, was found here in Sarasota after being gone for 5 years. He was missing 5 years, and he was 1,100 miles from home. Giarrusso was from Ohio, so we don't know how he ended up here in Florida. But thankfully, the girl that found him, even though her intention was to keep him, and she brought him into a local rescue, the Cat Depot, to get shots. But thankfully, the Cat Depot did the right thing, and they scanned him for a chip. And I got the chip number, and he was registered. But what happened was the owner didn't answer the phone because she thought it was a scam because Giarrusso had been missing for 5 years, and they presumed him dead. They did not think he was still alive. So at first, she would not answer the phone. She didn't answer my call. She didn't answer the microchip company's call because she thought they were trying to sell her something, and they didn't know if I was a scammer. So I spent some time, and I found her son, and I texted him, and even then he didn't believe me. But thanks to Janet from the Cat Depot getting me that microchip number, I was able to research, and I got a hold of the owner's son, Zach. And after convincing him I wasn't a scammer, he got a hold of his mother, and they could not believe that Giarrusso Blue was still alive. And how the heck he got to Florida, nobody knows. But he is now back home. He had to spend about a week here in a local Hagen's Pet Resort for boarding until his family could figure out how to get one of their relatives here to fly him back home. But it was a great case. But had that girl not gone in, her intention was to keep Giarrusso. She didn't want to give him back. But there's so many cats that need homes at our local shelters. You don't need someone else's cat. You can go to a shelter and get a new cat that really does need a home. And by saving that cat and adopting it, you're saving another one that needs its spot. So that's why, things like that are so important. So people really need to realize that what they do matters when they find a lost pet. Please never assume that it's abandoned, dumped, neglected, or abused, because pets get in really bad condition really fast when they're left on their own and they're lost. So if you do find a pet, keep it safe, contain it, bring it to the nearest vet clinic, humane society shelter, have it scanned for a microchip, get the chip number, put an ad in the local paper, because some people are not on social media, and found pet ads, they're free. At least they are here. Report it to your local animal control, because that should be the first place that an owner is going to look for their pet. So be sure to do that and keep it safe. In the meantime, post it on your local Facebook group, possibly the largest one that there is, the most active one, because that's where all the activities going on and people are really paying attention. Put a sign up that you found the pet, and try to find the owner. Put it on Nextdoor. Nextdoor.com is excellent for people that aren't on Facebook, because a lot of the population not on Facebook is on Nextdoor. And put it on Craigslist. And when an owner does come forward, please be sure to get proof of ownership. And what that would be is maybe vet records, photos, particularly a photo with the owner is a perfect thing to have for proof of ownership. License rabies certificates, license tags, that actually you can check and make sure that it is the owner. Adoption paperwork, sale paperwork, that type of thing, to prove that it truly is the owner. Now, of course, a pet generally is going to know its owner, but sometimes you never know. But so those are the important things to do if you do find a pet. And it's so important to get somebody's pet back, because remember, pets don't need new homes. They need to go home. So the other important part of this that we can't leave out is that every pet should have a microchip, and every microchip should be registered, and it should be updated annually. You should have your microchipped pet scanned at its annual vet visit, get the number, call and verify that the information is accurate, because there could even be a typo. and a phone number. It has happened to us more than I can tell you. So you can also look up your pet microchip number on petmicrochiplookup.org. That's the American Animal Association's webpage to look it up. So these are all the things I cannot stress to you that are so important to help families be reunited with their pets, and it will make you feel good. A pet don't always think abandoned, dumped, neglected, because most of the time they are not. They just need your help getting home. So please do that for us. I want to say thank you to everybody for listening. Thanks Society Bites Radio for hosting my show, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I really appreciate you listening. We have excellent shows with all kinds of important information you can go back and listen to. I'm on Facebook at Let's Talk Pets Radio, and my organization is Lost Pet Services Incorporated, and December 3rd is Giving Tuesday, and I hope you'll consider my nonprofit organization when if you're going to give. That is the National Day of Giving, and we hope that if you're going to give that day, you consider Lost Pet Services when you're giving. We really appreciate it. So for now, everybody, until next time, please remember that a lost pet can't tell anyone where it lives. So please be sure your pet is microchipped and wearing its ID tags. If it is chipped, that chip is registered and updated all the time. I'm your host, Patty Giarrusso, and this has been Let's Talk Pets on Society Bites Radio. Thanks for joining us today, and until next time, take care and keep your pets safe.